What's up, guys? We're back on the podcast.
Yes, sir. Rudy's podcast.
Okay, this is Rudy and Johnny.
Rudy and
Matter of
Jenny's
fact, it's
podcast.
Johnny and Rudy. If we're talking alphabetically, I come first, okay? But anyways, it is November 22nd. It is 10:56 p.m. and we're going to jump into this. We're going to be talking today about important elements of operas of the classical period. But before we get into the elements, I think we got to answer a question that's probably going through our listeners' minds right now. I think, isn't that right, Rudy? I think we need to answer the question, what is opera?
Yeah.
So I think the best way to probably explain it is if a song were a snack, then an opera would be a full course meal. You know, I think that there's no better way to explain that. Well, okay, we could go with the actual definition, I guess. I know Rudy's giving me this look right now, so I guess I'll say the actual definition is basically it's a play in which all the actors' lines are sung instead of spoken. Okay, but I prefer the other definition. Just saying.
Yep. But I think you're going too fast, so slow down, dude.
Look, you said you wanted to do this in, what was that, 15 minutes? 30 minutes?
Slow down. Slow down. How you
Okay.
feeling today, man?
I'm feeling excited. That's why I was going fast. And I feel like if we go faster, we can talk about whatever we want and more stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I'm so
Let's
tired.
make this one, look, technically, this is our last podcast for Miss Sarah. So let's make it a fun one.
Like 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah, let's just make her
Yes.
sit there.
Because the concerts,
Yeah.
they're so long, so now she needs to watch us for 2 hours.
But you see, you know what? She could probably sit here and listen to us for a while and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Probably eating right now. She could be having like Carl's Jr. or like popcorn or some lunch. You know, she's probably listening to us during her lunchtime.
Yeah, maybe McDonald's.
Sarah,
Probably.
I hope you enjoy your food with this. Don't choke. Don't choke on anything.
Yeah. I think this is
Shoot
going to
your
be a
five
quick
times.
one. Quick one because we're tired. And
Uh-huh.
Johnny.
You know, I could do ASMRs too.
No. That's nasty, dude.
Sorry.
Stop.
Where were we?
So, yes. What's opera for you?
Like I said, opera is definitely, if a song were a snack, then opera is a full course meal. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about, like you said, 2 hours. We're looking at 2 to 3 hours of people singing like crazy, like musical melodies and sounds and whatnot. Like we're talking about dances. We're talking about costumes, makeup, lights, stage, everything. They go all out for the dramatic.
I know, bro. I think that is crazy.
It's definitely crazy. I couldn't agree more. I mean, but see, the thing is, I'm one of the only people who could probably, that I know that are music majors, that could probably go and sit and enjoy an opera, just like watch it, as if it was television, basically. Because all the other music majors that I've met, they tend to be like, no, dude, we're not like, they're not always, they don't seem that like they're down to actually go and just.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, I feel.
unless it's in person, it has to be like, we're gonna go, we bought tickets,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go and actually watch an opera in person. Even then, I'm not even sure if they would actually be down.
I feel that probably me, like, I feel like I'm gonna be tired, like hearing music whole day, like probably, I don't know, like
Yeah, keep in mind, this is music that it's not in English most of the time.
I know, so
This
that's
is
why
in,
like
it was probably in Italian, more than likely. It could be
Yeah.
another language, and we don't know. Like, it's not in Spanish. No está en español. And obviously, if it were in Spanish, maybe you could sit through it.
bro, but did you know that the word opera means work?
Work?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So-
Was that just a little nugget?
Yeah,
of
you
information
saying
to share?
opera work. Opera work.
Well, you know what's interesting? Now, you made me think of something too. whenever people talk about an opera, they don't always talk about a cast. They talk more about a company. You go to join a company of actors to to work in an opera, and I think that's pretty interesting. If you ask me, like, because you're saying that opera can basically mean like work. So like, and
Yeah.
then you think of like the cast, the group of actors that have come together. You think of them as a company. It's like that same language.
Yeah, and I think that they work a lot because when we see like those videos about opera and like it's a lot of work
Yeah,
and
and
learn how to play
we've
like
done
that.
music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We've
yeah,
done music, like,
yeah,
and you've had to memorize songs before,
yeah,
right? Now imagine having to memorize a 2 to 3 hour long song,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. I know.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
like it's just a whole bunch of songs. You have to remember every one of them. You have to remember all the ups and downs and the melody, every little technical technique thing that you do, like everything. So
yeah,
this is a lot. And then you think about Miss Sarah's husband. Miss Sarah's husband, he does operas. He did one. I think he did one last semester, and he showed us. He brought the book. I think it was probably when I was taking Music Theory 3. He brought the book to class to show us what he was kind of working through to get through the music, everything, and like how much he had to cover in such a small amount of time. At least what we felt was technically not enough time.
yeah,
The book was like, it was thick. This was a book that was like this thick. It was probably, I don't know, about as thick as a soda can. Like,
yeah,
in however tall a soda can is, that's how
yeah,
thick
yeah,
it
yeah,
was sideways. And like we would just like he would just there was sticky notes and like he had his little notes and everything. He would just chunk it out.
yeah.
And it was just a way to show like how you can go about learning or following along with an opera. That's something that's so long.
Now thinking about operas and the classical period, like what you enjoy more, like because there's different types of like how do you say it? There's different type of like we can drama, see
Oh, different
drama,
types of
like
operas.
drama, yeah, operas like drama, uh, probably
Right, right. The
the elements of the opera.
All right, you're talking about the bel canto, the opera seria, the opera buffa. Are you talking about those?
Yeah, no, not that ones. Like we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but let me like because when we talk about opera, like it's not just music. They like they they show or they like ellos pueden like hacer eso de diferentes maneras. Like
Oh,
they have like different ways
you're talking
to
about los géneros, the genres.
yeah, like in other genres, but like they can do opera in dramas, songs, like in obras de arte, sea bailando, dancing, so
Yeah.
what you prefer?
Well, I probably couldn't sit there and watch people dancing for a really long time, for like 2 hours. So I'd probably have to say, definitely in like singing. If it's dramatic, like I'm here for the tea. You know what I mean? Like I'm here for that cheese man. Like the one
Yeah.
we were watching, like on Monday. The one we were
Yeah.
watching on Monday in class was really good. And it's about this guy Figaro and this woman that he's engaged to.
Yeah.
She's like a maid in the kingdom in the palace. I'm not exactly sure what the setting is in this time, but it's this whole like circle of like this person loves that person and who loves this person, who loves that person,
Yeah.
and it just goes
But
full circle where like everybody loves the next person over
yeah.
in a way, except Figaro and this man.
Yeah, but you remember what we watched? How do you say? Like lo que miramos en la clase?
Yeah, what we saw in class or watched in class.
Yeah, the video because remember that we can like the elements like art, and music, drama, dance. So I feel that I prefer like maybe like the video that we watched. It's like
Specifically that one.
yes, like no that kind of video. It's
Okay.
like dramatic history like in songs. You know, like they were singing but at the same time like they were like dancing and talking and like doing others stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's not just singing. It's not just like using instruments. Like it's something like bigger than just
So you
instruments.
like the idea of an opera. You
Yes,
like that it's more than just okay, we're gonna come up, we're gonna sing this song, and we're done.
yes, like it's more. You
Compared
know.
to the concert we had yesterday on Tuesday, where everyone just kind of got up
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
sang.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
know what you mean.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
I see. I can agree with you. I can definitely agree that especially I mean, if you compare, if you're comparing one to the other, an opera done by professional actors slash opera singers, whatever you want to call them, is definitely like it's on another level. It's definitely top tier. Versus, technically we could probably still be considered amateur level for a concert. It's very much, beginner level almost. Um, but definitely not unenjoyable, I would say.
yeah,
As someone who was performing there, I had a good time singing as well as listening to the songs. My other music major mates were performing. Some of these songs I hadn't heard. This was the first time I had heard them as well. So I really enjoyed too the reactions of some of the people. I thought it was funny how some people got scared for like Xavier's faces
oh,
or like how he would jump in
yeah.
very loudly. Josiah jumped. I thought it was really funny. He was kind of scared. Or
It
like
was
people were.
it was
I
pretty
think it was
fun.
Schumann. I think I'm not trying to remember who the composer is for Claire's song, but basically, some people were not sure if Claire was off key or if that was how it was meant to be sung. Anyways, we're getting a little off topic, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, I agree that the idea of an opera is definitely it could be more entertaining. It's closer to kind of like a musical type. It's
yeah,
still very much a show, very much almost like a movie, but there's a lot of singing and music that's still involved in it.
yep. So I agree with you in all that you said, and it's like interesting, like this classical period, and it's pretty big. So, like, what do you think about the three types of opera?
Right, we were talking about it a little bit
And
earlier.
yeah, 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 yeah. So right now the first one is the bel canto. I think I said it correctly.
Yeah, that sounds
The
right.
bel canto is an Italian phrases which translate beautiful singing. I can't
Yeah,
say that, bro. I'm
I'll,
sorry.
I'll say it. It's
Yeah.
bel canto. It's an Italian phrase that literally translates to beautiful singing.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm not exactly sure if we've heard any operas in class that were specifically known as bel canto operas, but I like operas, so I could probably consider quite a few
Yeah.
of them beautiful singing.
Yeah. I for what I understood or what I understand. No, what I understand. ¿Cómo se dice por lo que yo entendí?
Yeah, what I understood.
Yeah, is that like the
What sets them apart from other operas?
the bel canto is like something more like softly, something more like
Emotional, maybe.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's
Yeah, it emphasizes like long phrasing. Long phrases. You sing loudly and then softly, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, what do you think about that? X.
I think it's very important. I think I do a really good job of expression when I sing. I like to think I do a good job when it comes to when it comes to, I know it sounds like, huh? Stay humble, bro. Just relax.
Yeah.
But no, I think I do a good job of being expressive when I perform, of being able to show the emotion that I want to portray, to put the message out there. It helps so that even if it's not in the language that you understand,
Yeah.
you kind of get the feeling, the vibe, the message from it without even actually knowing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll have the translation in front of you so you can know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But um, a lot of what goes into expression is these long phrases that I was talking about. The long phrasing, how you say something, the getting louder and then softly suddenly, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
how you sing it. And what happens is if you can picture it, if you can visualize what you're trying to portray, you
Yeah.
can. What you tend to do is it's a physiological thing where you can, if you picture it, you think about it, you can portray it in your posture and how you sound and
Yeah.
whatever. It makes people feel that.
Yeah. And like I agree with you, and I feel that we all need to practice that, because when you practice, like, how do you, like, when you practice firstly inside mentally, and then you, like, you portray, how do you say it,
Portray.
portray, like, what you practice inside, like, you can look good. So now let's talk about the opera seria, or series. How do you pronounce it?
Seria. It's see,
Seria.
just
Yeah.
think in Spanish, bro.
Yeah. Opera seria.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it like that,
Like, just with the name.
It translates exactly
Yeah.
as you said it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Opera,
yeah, yeah.
opera seria
It's
is
like
basically
serious.
serious opera.
Like something more.
I think it's probably more profound. It's
Yeah.
probably something
More
you're
serious.
contemplating death, life and death, or whatever it could be.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not exactly sure what kind of operas we've really been listening to in class, but I'm sure we probably have heard an opera seria because when I mean I have at least at some point in my early musical career here at Porterville College, I've seen a few operas that the professors have made had us watch,
Yeah.
and I mean some of them seem to have like a very serious like, hey, my daughter is in trouble or something. It's along with. It makes it. It's very dramatic, but it's also like it's a very serious type of dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
we're gonna all go kill this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, and like then they go and they do that, and something along these lines.
Yeah.
It's usually something like that. But yeah, like I think if anything more than anything, we've definitely seen quite a few of opera buffa, like the comic operas. I know, like I'm pretty sure we've seen a few.
Yeah.
There was one, I can't remember what it was called, but like we saw a modern version of it in class. Everybody kind of regretted picking the modern version, and it was just like, oh man, we got nothing against them, but it was like maybe you should have left it in the original plot, in the original language, because the rewritten version of it it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cringy,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. This is something like, at the same time it's pretty hard, because all the music or all the songs that we listen to, it's in like another language, so it's pretty hard to understand, like, what, like, the meaning of the song, like.
Yeah, I think
So
I find it. I don't know why. Ever since I've gotten into music, I feel like it's been part of the reason.
yeah.
Even when I would listen to it, say if somebody they put orchestral music or opera music in
Yeah.
a movie.
Yeah.
And they played it or whatever. Like I've always felt somewhat drawn to it. I enjoyed it. I even if I didn't know what language it was, I
Yeah.
found it interesting. I loved. I felt like there was a lot more emotion,
Yeah.
even though I didn't understand what they were saying. I was like, this, whatever song this is, it has a lot of emotion to it. It could be a serious one, it could be a sad one, a happy one, a tragic.
Yeah.
And I was like, and at times it could probably be, a comic one, but there was something that drew me to it, and it was like it was different. It
Yeah.
was like I preferred it to a lot of like the regular music that I would listen to, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a 2 3 minute song, and it's gonna be the same 4 chords repeated the whole way through, and it's super easy, it's super catchy,
Yeah.
great. But at the same time, you know, I did find myself more drawn to these other versions of or other genres of music like opera,
Yeah.
like classical work.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember. I think it was the learning reflection number 2. Like we were talking about like how they didn't use instruments at all. Like they just sing like with their voice. They make everything with their voice. So imagine like the classic period just with voices, not instruments at all. Like what do you think about that? Like I don't know why, but I'm thinking about that.
No, I think that's a good question. That would be I think that would be a very interesting
Yeah.
discussion question, even to ask
Yeah.
to think about with Miss Sarah, with any other listeners, anybody else who could answer and conversate, discuss about it. But I think it would be quite difficult, but also like we would have a different perspective of it,
Yeah.
definitely. Because whenever we think about music that doesn't have instruments, we go back to the Catholic Church. We go back to
Yeah.
motets
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and church songs,
Yeah.
writing for the church, which meant that because there was no instruments, they focused so much more on choral music. They
Yeah.
had more voices. They had more, like, okay, we're gonna have this many singers, and we're all gonna sing. And the only difference was that they had more what they considered pure chords, pure like it was. They didn't really like dissonance, right?
Yeah.
And so you would have like a very strong fifth, and then back to the one,
Yeah.
on these chords, and versus the operatic music, the classical, all these other eras, the Renaissance, where they've begun to grow from that,
Yeah. It was
and
the
and so I think if we were to imagine the opera scene in that setting, it would be very different. It would be a very different opera than
Yeah. Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
are used to.
Yeah. So like I don't like because we see first like we'll start talking about like the Christian songs and all of that, but now we see like all the first spirit that we talk about in class, like they were pretty Christian, like
Yeah, and
and now
that was because a lot of the times when people wanted a job writing music, or the only jobs that they had to do that was mainly like a secure financial job would be writing for the church. And like,
yeah,
hey, we need you to produce a motet. We need you to produce this a song, some type of song book. Something
yeah,
that we're gonna sing. We're gonna put this scripture to whatever it may be, and that's why like they would stay consistent, and that's why we started with
yeah,
very. It was usually sacred music, and
yeah,
then we tend to move as we get further from the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, from the Antiquity, all these other periods.
yeah,
We began to also get further into the secular music, and it makes it almost, you can see it even now, modernly speaking. We
yeah,
can see how yes, there's plenty of sacred music, plenty of Christian, you could say,
yeah,
religious music out there, but what seems to be the mainstream most of the time is probably going to be secular music.
yeah. But my point is that in this period, like we don't see like a lot of Christian music or like at all. Like I I didn't see Christian music.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and you have a good point. I think Miss Sarah had also covered that point. She was talking about how we start to really move away from sacred music and into the secular music.
yeah,
To get out of like, oh, well, let's go listen to music, but like it doesn't have to be church music. It doesn't have we don't have
yeah,
to go to church. Like we just want to go and it's entertainment.
yeah,
Because back then they didn't have TVs, cell phones,
yeah. It
the
just was
internet,
music,
so it was just
music.
like this was the only way that they could probably get any entertainment. It
Yeah,
was this new form
yeah,
of entertainment, so that's why it was like, oh my god, and most people, I think probably because, like it's almost like at first all the if you had a TV in your house, people were probably like, oh, this person has money when they first came out.
yeah.
So
I know.
I think it'd probably be the same thing with opera music, where it's, if you were high class, if you were high class in society, you would attend these opera theaters, as
Yeah,
for an occasion,
yeah,
versus, and even in even in the sacred
yeah,
music, it could also be seen as like, this was something very
yeah.
above,
You know what? Like right now, I have like I wanna make my own period because we already see Christian music and secular music like in this classical period, but I wanna like mix them. You know what I'm talking about, like classic music but Christian music. You know what I'm saying?
So you're
Or
saying classical,
classical Christian.
so like a Christian opera? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, bro.
That
uh,
could be easily done. I mean,
I don't know
it's
why,
not,
you
I
know.
mean, it's not too far fetched. I mean, we could easily do
Yeah,
it. But then, like, see, that's the thing about sacred and secular music is that it's very black and white. You're either, especially in the church, where people they'll call it what it is. They'll be like, hey, if it's not mentioning, if it's not talking about, God in some way or
yeah,
form,
yeah,
then
and I
it's
understand
not
that,
to honor
but
Him, and it's probably not a sacred music or Christian
yeah,
music.
yeah, but right now, like you can see that, like Christian, like reggaeton. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Right.
that kind of bit, like
Yeah.
you can use, but you just change the the words, and just depends, you know. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why like you can make your own music, your own song,
Una prostituta llegó a la iglesia.
something like
Yeah.
that.
You
So
really want to mix these, huh?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, it could be looked down upon by some
yeah,
people in the music world. I don't know what effect it would
yeah,
have. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I'm sure like Christian people would be like, dude, let's definitely have our own Christian operas. Like, we
yeah,
can finally, But I mean, I don't really think about, oh, is this okay to watch when I'm thinking about an opera most of the time.
yeah. But right now, I feel that if we made, if we make our own opera, like we can do something good, because the Christian have a lot of people to sing like a lot. So
Oh yeah, and I'm sure
yeah.
we can find a good dramatic story in the Bible. Come on, bro.
Oh yeah.
There's
Heck
too
yeah.
much like gossip type stories
Yeah. You know, like
that we can
I
choose
don't know,
from.
but I wanna like
I think we would
make a
have to talk
drama,
about.
but at the same time singing. Like I don't know why I'm feeling the vibe of the classical period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean, if this
Maybe
were to
because I'm
happen,
tired, you know.
maybe it's because you're tired.
Yeah.
But, I don't think I'm tired enough yet to
Yeah.
really jump on that same vibe of what you mean by it.
Yeah. Like
But I mean, I like the idea.
yeah.
I definitely like the idea. I mean, I would want to participate. You would have to hire me on because I would.
Sure.
I think I would want to get paid for this too.
Yeah. Like I feel
Services are not-
very very happy today because
Nah, you're just tired. No, I'm kidding.
because like 2 years ago, like I never like see me like speaking English, but in a music language. You know what I'm talking about? Like
I know exactly what you mean.
right now, like you know me, like
Yeah.
since I came here, and right now, like knowing about the Renaissance classic period and what was before the Renaissance, the Middle Ages, and all of that, and have all this knowledge, like it's something that I really enjoy and I really like it. So that's why I like doing this kind of.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. When you first showed up, on my doorstep, or technically, yeah, because you did show up on my doorstep. But when you first showed up, and we first met in person for the first time, I
Yeah.
was definitely like, I was not. I never imagined how we'd be where we are right now.
Oh, I know.
You
Yeah.
know, like I mean, for one, I never thought you would be speaking English. Two, I never thought you would be speaking music.
Yeah, music language,
Yeah,
and
it's definitely
it's
its own
pretty
language.
hard,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah, it's in another league. And three, I didn't think we would be having a podcast.
I know that's
Or we
crazy.
talk
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Exactly.
I feel that she needs to do this like next year, because this opened the door, like
To try some new things nowadays.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, that we're not used to do, because when in my life I'm gonna open a podcast, but here we
Yeah,
are,
I think the idea of a podcast always seemed like it was like a distant good idea. Like, oh, it would be fun to do a podcast, but
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see
yeah,
when we
yeah,
actually
yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
We'll have to find time, and then you
yeah,
never always
and like
you seem to never find
yeah,
time.
and really
But
making like the time, the effort of doing like all of this, like a real podcast, like it's so hard,
yeah.
like to
Luckily,
just
see, another thing is luckily we had equipment
yeah,
to
yeah, we
actually
do, yeah,
do
we
that.
do,
I mean, you
yeah,
have to think about not everybody has equipment like this
yeah,
to have a good podcast and sound as good as this one does.
yeah,
I mean, even then, I mean, I wouldn't mind listening to a podcast from someone's phone,
yeah.
made from someone's phone, or
Maybe it's not gonna be that good,
yeah. But
and
I mean, I think when it comes to a podcast, it tends to be more about content. If the content's good, then the podcast is good. It's not always
yeah,
about, oh, we need better equipment, which
yeah,
could be a thing.
I know. So it's like pretty
But
fun to talk
yeah,
about.
talking about music in a podcast in English
Yeah,
with you, that was not on my expectations. Honestly, I was gonna be I'd probably be a whole different person, even if we're talking about from last year to this year.
oh yeah,
Like, I never thought. I mean, lots of things happen in a year.
yeah,
And they talk about 5 years, and we could break it down to just 1 year.
yeah,
And I never thought I'd be taking this class.
yeah,
I never thought they would. I wasn't even sure if we would have an associate's degree in
music, yeah,
Yeah,
I
whenever
know.
I first started, we
Yeah.
just had the music certificate,
yeah.
and I was gonna have to transfer it
So,
at a university.
so today we talk about this period, the classical period, and I feel that it's a pretty fun. It was like really fast, like quick, because how we just took like 3 classes for talking about this period, right? Maybe 4 classes.
I feel like but I think it's because of how the professor did talk about how small the classical period really is
Yeah,
in comparison to some of these other periods.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And yet we use the word classical music to encompass all of this type of music
Yeah.
over all these centuries, these years, all these different periods.
Yeah,
The Baroque period, the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the Antiquity, all of these, the Romantic period. And I mean, we haven't even gotten to some of these newer periods,
yeah,
but it's all encompassed under this umbrella of classical music.
yeah.
And
So
I think the opera has always seemed to, once it like came out, it was like this. It was the new. it was the new thing, the new toy on the block. You know, it really had a different impact, different. It had this different feel to it, and it kind of like I feel like it almost took over on like it monopolized the music world, and
Yeah.
you know, because it's I think it has to do a lot with the type of singing that's involved in what makes an opera.
Yeah.
Because there's two main types of singing that go into an opera, and and they have different purposes. They have different purposes. You have like the 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 recitative, the recitative. I don't know. I'm probably chopping that up.
Yeah. You're good.
But
Keep going.
it's that narrative, talking, singing, scenes from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
opera
yeah, yeah.
where they're basically talking.
Yeah, it's like
You know, it's not even really singing anymore, but it's to get that emphasis on the words,
yeah.
on the storyline. We got to move along in the story, but we got to say this
We
important stuff.
we see that a lot in this period, like in the classical period, like basically.
With the opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like normally they don't really have like the recitative doesn't really have melody to it.
Yeah.
It's normally just like it's like, oh, this is important spoken line, kind of like from a drama. Basically, this is important line that we need to say. It's like, but we're gonna put it to a single note that's
Yeah.
repeated. This is the melody. It's just one note, and you're just gonna say it all on that note.
Yeah.
Versus the aria. You know, a lot of the times, a lot of the music that we're listening to at these concerts, you know, like the one we listened to on Tuesday, is a lot of the times these singers are performing arias.
Yeah.
And arias, we get arias from operas, and like an aria it's a reflective song that's sung with melody and accompaniment. You know, that's
Yeah.
what it is. And we're
Yeah.
so it's almost basically like the opposite of the recitative, where it's this one portrays the feelings
Yeah.
of the character more than the plot development. So you have like this back and forth, like, oh, we're gonna talk and this is happening, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, this and this happened, so and so did this to that person, and like this is what's going on in the story, and now we're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna sing this very emotional song about what just happened, and like you're like, oh, you know, because they did this to that person,
Yeah.
I love that person or whatever, and now like, you know, it's normally for an aria, it's normally the opposite. There's a very memorable melody, or you know, the accompaniment, the music is more emotional. You know, it's less than just, oh, we're talking about something.
Yeah.
You know.
I know. I feel that we covered like a lot of this period. So
In a short amount of time.
yeah, I know. That's why like we have our notes, and like it was like pretty quick, like fast. So I think that's good. That's good.
You know, I have to make a decision now too, because in the spring I have to decide on what class I'm going to take. I have to decide if I'm going to be taking Music 112 to
Mhm.
continue the music appreciation into from like, you know, the 1800s to the modern
Yeah.
music world, or take another music class, or take history of rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know, so I have to decide on like, do I want to continue this?
That's the 110, the rock and roll.
I think 110 is world music.
Yeah, I don't
History
know,
of rock
something
and
like that.
roll.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think
Yeah.
it's like 107.
It's
I don't-
like
I don't-
confusing.
106, I don't remember what it's called.
So
But yeah, and like I have to decide. It's kind of hard. Yes, Miss Sarah, I have not. I have not registered for my class yet. I only have to take one class, but it's because it's hard to decide on if I want to continue this study of history. You know, and I know like if I take it, it's probably going to be with Ben, because I think he's probably the only one who's going to be offering it. But his class is only online, and I don't really like online classes.
yeah.
So it makes it kind of hard to choose it, but I do love the content that he's going to be covering in it. So if anything, I don't know. I'll have to figure something out, because at some point I'm probably going to have to take a history class.
Yeah.
Again, you know, in the university level. I'll probably have to because for my own good, like I want to know more about the romantic period. Like I want to know where we're at per se in music, in the modern wise. Like what would we think about? You know,
Yeah.
where we are modernly. What could we possibly be called
Yeah.
now? Like think about now, like these periods. We've put the names to these periods now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I know what
back
you mean.
then, when
Like we don't know. Like
when Beethoven was like writing his seventh symphony or his ninth symphony, whatever he was doing, he wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm in the Baroque period, or I'm in whatever period I'm in. I'm in the classical period. I'm in this period. Nobody was thinking about what period they were in. They
yeah.
were just writing music. They were
Yeah.
just living life, and then later on, so that we could make sense of it all.
Yeah.
Then we added like all this. So it makes me wonder, when our time has come and gone, what's going to be the name of our period?
I know that's crazy, dude.
I don't know what would be named. We could probably be like
The crying period.
the crying period, or the COVID period.
Yeah. 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 Something
We would
like
be
that.
No, we would probably be like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, anything goes. Like
No.
there's you can do whatever you want. Basically, there's
Yeah.
individualism period or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Some type of
Yeah.
word like that where we use the variety period, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that, where we use a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's because there's been so much. We've basically reached the peak of music already. Like in the classical period is where we kind of, at least to our knowledge, we've basically reached. This is what the peak of music, the climax. This is what it's the best it's gonna be at right here.
Yeah.
So to our knowledge, at least in this class,
Yeah.
like this is it right here, and this is the new best thing, and there might not be something better than this. This is
Yeah.
what we got, here it is, pow,
Yeah.
and now it's like, well, what are we gonna make in our period now that would top all these other periods?
Yeah.
That would be different. That's new.
I know, like a lot.
And I mean, some composers we probably just don't know, But some composers I know they've like made a few new instruments, and whenever a new instrument comes out, it's like, oh, now we can do something different.
Yeah.
Something new. It's like, which is pretty cool too. But,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like in the music world, very much.
Yeah.
If we're still under the umbrella of classical music, what would our name be?
Yeah. I want to know too. Yeah. So, I think.
Maybe Miss Sarah will tell us when we come back
Yeah.
from break.
Yeah. So, thank you, Johnny, for being here today in the podcast. Oh, no. This is our podcast because we're now doing it together.
Oh, yeah, dude. We're doing this. This
This-
is the normal thing. You best believe.
So,
Coming back whether you like it or not.
so
So what do you think? You want to be a music major now? What do you think? Yeah?
yeah.
Switch your major? You want
Yeah.
to you thinking of taking another music class?
I have to, so
You do?
yeah.
Okay.
But not because I have to, because
Oh.
I wanted to, so.
You
Because
know,
I
you
want
could always
to.
join choir. You
Yeah,
do know
sis.
that Miss Sarah, he can sing. He can. If we can force him to sing somehow, this man can sing. He just doesn't like to do it at school, but at home, you best believe this man sings all the time. And
Yeah,
he just
so-
walks out into the living room, just bursts into song as if we were living in opera. Rudy is a walking opera for sure. Very dramatic.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for comercial. But this is our podcast. Thank you for watching us. So,
This was fun.
yeah.
Definitely would suggest other students to do this.
Yeah.
Recommend it. Take the class.
Yep.
I would suggest keeping this kind of grading system.
Yeah.
It's like we have more time on our hands to be able to think some of these things through and produce something
Yeah.
out of it.
Yep.
Without the stress of school and like procrastination or whatever.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it
It's been a lovely
at
night.
home. Maybe
It's late.
tomorrow Thanksgiving. Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Professor. Well, I told
Yes,
her already,
because
but,
this is
you know,
Wednesday, so tomorrow it's gonna be.
it's
Well, no,
making-
not tomorrow.
it's making me
In
wonder when Bill's
what?
birthday
In
is.
20 minutes, bro.
It's
That's
tomorrow.
crazy.
Happy pre-early Thanksgiving, bro.
Yep. Thank you. So, have a good, great night, and thank you. What was that, dude? I don't know.
What are you talking
I
about?
don't know. But